Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 241 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit and crochet sometimes, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, January 18th. How can it be already past the middle of January already? Heavens. How? Anyway, it's Saturday, January 20, or I can't even spit it out right now. Saturday, January 18th, 2025. And sipping a cup of tea. It's cold now, but oh well. Plain ordinary, I think it's English breakfast tea in there. So anyway, if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for coming by and checking out my channel. I'm so happy to have you here with me. Hope you like it and stick around, see what I'm up to next week and in subsequent episodes. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what kind of knitting shenanigans I've been up to. And there have been some shenanigans this week. Not a lot, but some. So I'm so happy to have you here with me. Thank you so much for coming back week after week to see what I have to natter about. Always appreciate every last one of you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny to subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I post new videos, which is typically once a week, although sometimes I have little extra ones here and there, unboxings if I have anything, my train video. That was fun to do. I hope to improve on those over time, but that was my first try, so it was fun. Anyway, I have a finished object to show you this week. Actually, it's something you have not even seen yet. You have not seen it as anything yet. I cast it on Monday and finished it this morning. So, it was a quickie. And I also have a little bit of progress on my two whips. One of them I'm not even going to show you because it's such a tiny little bit. You're not going to be able to notice the difference from last week. So I'll show you that next week when I have had more time to do more on it. But my new project is my Miss Marple scarf. This is the second one I've made of this. It is a quick, easy, fun pattern. It's a keyhole scarf. So this part comes undone. And it has a little opening on either side. So you can run the tail through either direction. And like I say, it's a fun, quick, easy scarf. It is done with 5.5 millimeter needles for the majority of it. This part is done on 4.5 millimeter. The rest of it is done on a 5.5 millimeter needle. I like this so much. This is, again, I said, second one I've made. You can wear it up a little higher to keep your ears warm. You can fold it down. But it keeps your neck all nice and toasty warm. So this is a pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I don't bother using color ink, I just use plain grayscale. Miss Marple scarf. Here's some pictures of it on somebody's mannequin. It's a pattern by Suzanne SV. And it's done on worsted weight yarn. I used some yarn from Stash, Red Heart soft yarn, worsted weight, this is in the color teal, and it's 140 grams of yarn. I was getting a little bit worried that I was going to be playing yarn chicken. By the time I was getting closer to the end of it, I had 5 grams left over. A whole 5 grams out of the 140. So it was a beautiful stash buster. It used up a good chunk of a skein of yarn. I'm going to keep the little 5 gram teeny little ball for something else in the future, whether it might be part of a scrappy project, whether I use it for stuffing for some kind of little stuffed animal thing, whether Olive ever gets a friend, we'll see. But a little ball of yarn will get used for something in some kind of scrap project or stuffing. So it's a project I made for my secret sister. Our church has been running a secret sister program for the past little over a year now. Today was supposed to be our reveal party, and the scarf was going to be something I made for the reveal party. The party got postponed. The woman who is hosting it is sick with pneumonia in the hospital right now, so she can't host a party from the hospital room. I don't think they would approve. So I didn't hurry as much on the scarf. I could have finished it yesterday, but since I didn't have the pressure to have it in today and ready for this morning, I didn't worry about it. I finished knitting this morning. All the ends are tucked in. Doesn't need blocking, or I'm not going to bother blocking it. I think it looks just fine without. And so it's ready to give when, oh, I got a sneeze coming. Oh, ha. 4 sneezes. You did not need to be subjected to any of those. Anyway, that blew my train of thought completely out of my head. What was I saying? It's gone. It's completely gone. Anyway, so the scarf is done. So whenever we do have the secret sister party, it's ready to gift. So as I mentioned, that's the second one I've made now. One I made for myself, or I might give it for a gift. I'm not sure yet. And this one. So it's a fun pattern. I quite like it. It's a quick and easy knit. Very simple, very straightforward. It's a nice pattern. So it's one I really enjoyed. So I've worked on 2 of my whips this week. So again, as I said, I started that one on Monday, and that's basically all I worked on the majority of the week. I added a few rows on my Ravelry cardigan, but again, I'm not going to bother showing that because there's not much, there's no different looks no different from last time you saw it. I also worked on my toe up 2 at a time sort of shorty socks. And again, with those, I didn't do a lot. I'm keeping this in my a little project bag that I sewed for myself a while back. And my socks I've added, how far have I got now? 10, 20, 30, 40. Getting closer to ready for the gusset increasing. So I've gone from the marker upwards. So again, not a ton of progress on here, but a little bit. So as I said, like I spent all my spare time this week working on the Miss Marple scarf. But these are my 2 at a time toe up sort of shorty socks, which I am going to be getting a pattern written up and a tutorial filmed on that, but it takes time. So please be patient with me. It is forthcoming, but it's not ready. So those are my socks. I hope to make a decent amount of progress on them this week. Since I'm not going to be knitting another scarf this week, I'll be able to spend time working on my socks and on my Ravelry cardigan. So that's it for knitting this week. This might be a short episode, but then again, I might yak for another 10 minutes and it'll be a normal 10 or 20 minutes and it'll be a normal length episode. Who knows? Stay tuned. We'll find out in a little while. But it's been a busy week too. We're back to school this week, and classes are going well. All of my classes this semester are completely asynchronous online, so I only have to worry about checking with emails, I've had one student was having troubles getting onto some of the online materials, so we had a Zoom meeting, got that all straightened out and settled up. So that's all fine. And just working on that. A couple of students have had to tweak some things in the course for disability services accommodations. So I've got part of that done. I have to finish up a few more things to make sure that everything's okay in the course for them, or in 2 different courses for them. And what else? Hubby and I haven't done much of anything this week. We just went out, and yesterday we went and did a bit of window shopping. I sat and sipped a Diet Coke and worked on my scarf. We went and saw the movie in the theater. We don't go to theaters that often, but we went and saw the movie Labyrinth in the theater last night. That was fun. I don't think I've ever seen that movie before, and it was good. I quite enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. And tonight, after I say we don't go to the theater very often, we're going 2 nights in a row, and they're showing in the theater across the street from us, they're showing the movie Arsenic and Old Lace. And that is one of my all-time favorite movies ever. It's in my top 5. It might be like number 1 or 2 of my all-time favorite movies ever. I've seen it probably a dozen times. I absolutely love the movie. I've never seen it on the big screen, so that's going to be fun. So hubby and I both absolutely adore the movie, so we're looking forward to seeing that in the theater tonight. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's at 7 o'clock tonight, so that'll be fun. And so I won't get much knitting done this evening. I don't knit in the theater. I'm not one of those people that can knit in the dark. Something I want to try learning how to do a little bit better, knitting without looking at what I'm doing, but so far I haven't got that figured out. We're supposed to be getting some bad weather tomorrow, so we shall see if that interferes with church tomorrow. Our head deacon is going to make the call tomorrow morning whether church is on or not, depending on what he thinks of the weather. Hubby and I grew up and learned to drive and spent quite a few years in Canada and then in Maine. So for us, winters, we're fine. We will drive in the winter, like in a snowstorm. That's fine. We're used to it. We know how to drive in snow. A lot of the people around here don't know. So we shall see. They're threatening anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of snow, and depending on when it starts to come down and the intensity of when it's coming down, I say the head deacon's going to make the call. So if they leave it up to my hubby to make the decision, he won't cancel church unless the snow's up to his armpits, and he's 6 foot tall. So he's very unlikely going to cancel church. So he has to let someone else make the call on that, because people will show up to church grudgingly because he said it's on, and they do it out of respect for him. But anywho, so we shall see what happens tomorrow morning, whether we get up at a regular early time and get to go back to bed, or if we just get up at a regular time and go about our regular day. We'll find out in the morning. But it is supposed to start snowing in the morning. Initially, the forecast was looking like it was not going to start snowing until later in the day, but as it stands now, it looks like it's going to be starting earlier in the day. And what else? I'm working my way through an audiobook. I did not write down the name of the book or the author, so I can't tell you that information. I think it's the woman in Train D or something like that. No, I'm drawing a blank on the name. If I think of it, I'll put the name down here and the author's name. It's an audiobook. I'm quite enjoying it. I only have about an hour and 15 minutes left to go. So it's taken a new twist in the story now. It's had quite a few twists in the story. And it's been an enjoyable read / listen so far. I'm quite enjoying it. And so it's worked out well where I've been working on this scarf and had an audiobook to sit and listen to, so that's been good. But that's about all that's new with me. This is going to be a shorter episode. That just gives me more time to go do something else. Anyway, I think I shall let you go, and I will chat with you again next week. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.